Hello, my soul family. Today we're discussing loss of magic, looking at your life after the awakening and saying, did it really get better? Have I evolved? Or has my life actually gotten shittier? Now, don't feel sad about this. In reality, this is just a process that we have to go through, and you can go through it many different times. I know initially, 2 years in, I felt like my life had gotten a lot shittier. But there are other layers of this sense of losing magic for life that are absolutely necessary to go through. They are not the end all. And when you think about parts or passages that we have to go through, so often we identify with the passage itself or that phase that we're in. And when you identify with the part or the phase, you can't see anything outside of that. And we're all guilty of identifying with whatever is up for us. When you lose that magic and you don't know that it's just a phase, you think that you're never going to get it back. So through clients, through myself, through talking to people, I know that this is a collective theme right now. It's so in the air. Everyone is looking and going, where did the magic go? Like, why can't I get that divine spark or that joy or real sense of adventure? And when I look back at my life, I can really honestly say that that sense of adventure, that trickster energy that I often embodied, where I loved getting away with stuff and being avoidant, but in almost a really fun way. Like, I always thought of it in the sense of when I was going to be older and in my late 80s, if I ever was lucky enough to reach that age, I would look back and go, that was a wild life. I wanted that sense of just going crazy and living wild and burning fast and raging against the dying night. What happened was, when you start awakening, that tolerance for avoidant behaviors or for not looking at stuff, for really just not committing to life and going crazy, is very low. You become so in tune with yourself that nothing really is able to pass you by. You are looking at things clearly. You take the fun glasses off, you face yourself, you face your shit, you face all of the terrible decisions that you're making, the behaviors that you know you don't want to carry forth into your future self. All of these things are really, really sobering. And all of these things require immense amounts of patience and being super real. And so this other magic, adventurous energy, for me at least, and by all means this is a personal account, didn't mix with that. In fact, I lost all my sense of adventure. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I haven't had fun in the last 4 years. That's so not true. I've had plenty of times of fun and joy and connection and intimacy and all those things. But I'm talking about the phase of believing that your life is crappier, not that that's actually the truth. But I was lost in the past, and that's the piece that we can miss when we cross-compare during the spiritual journey versus before, is that unconsciousness may feel magical, but it's only because you are missing out on all of the real parts. Like, you are void of them. You are lost. You are in unconsciousness, and it feels nice. Unconsciousness feels like warm and fuzzy, not seeing things clearly, in that safe cocoon. But you were lost. You were trying to fill yourself up with external validation. You had no real desire to take this life to the next level. You were just getting by. And there are plenty of things in this material world that we can use to get by, to avoid, to just cruise through. But what about slowing down and taking small steps and being fully present? That is what is so difficult. No wonder we feel like we lost the magic. No wonder you don't feel that sense of adventure as you're moving through life in that way. Now we have to feel everything, not only our emotions, we feel everyone else's. We go through life not being able to stop with the feelings. And that's part of our life now. You do have to come to an acceptance for this side of it. The good news is that there is hope, that this isn't truth in this symptom, let's call it, this feeling of losing magic, of feeling like your life has possibly gotten worse. What needs to happen is that this needs to be grieved. You need to feel the grief or the pretend imaginary feeling of really losing the magic, because that is what popped up. And so in order to get to the next level, you need to be present with what's here. The beauty, or ironically, the magic, is that this part that's here actively wants to do something for you. It's trying to get you towards beauty and towards magic, but you must first pass the challenge of grieving. And when we pass through that, there's magic on the other side. Our lives are meant to be magical, but there are many things. There's disappointment, disillusionment, expectations not being met, this death of the fairy tale of what relationships or spirituality was meant to look like in our more naive brain. We need to grieve this naiveness, this imaginary world that we thought, that we expected these things to be, and lay those to rest in order for the true spirituality, the true love, the unconditional love, true intimacy, true joy to arise. I bet it's not what you imagined, but it's much, much deeper and much better. And we can't get to the depths of that, to the beauty of that, unless we really lay to rest this fantasy. There have been plenty of times in my life where I have adapted to the scene, to the setting. I know what it's like. I've adapted now to the spiritual journey. I used to adapt to every other phase of my life. That means I know exactly how it's going to turn out. It's not going to surprise me. This is it. This is it. And guys, we've been surprised every step of the way. Were you surprised by your spiritual awakening? Did you expect that to happen? Most people will say absolutely not. Did you expect to fall in love if you're in a relationship? Did you expect to fall in love with this person? Did you expect your life to look this way? When you look back 10 years, can you say to that girl that she really did know what was going to happen? Absolutely not. This is just proof. Life is continuously surprising us. You could wake up tomorrow, your symptoms could be gone. You could find love, reach a breakthrough. You could have a transcendent reunion with God. You can have an opportunity of a lifetime. You can get your desires met. You could get an idea. I mean, every second of every day is a potential for magic to come in. So we need to really cultivate this notion that life is always surprising us. We don't have it set just because we've learned through our years what a specific pattern of adult life looks like. We need to keep a part of it just titled mystery. And we need to tuck that away in our brains and know that that's always a possibility, just to maintain the hope as you're grieving this. I think it's an important thing to cultivate. And in conclusion, sobering up may feel like disillusionment. It may feel disappointing, excruciating. You may feel a lack of hope, deep loneliness throughout this journey. But let me tell you that good things are coming. We just have to keep showing up to whatever's here. So if you feel disgruntled with the way your life has panned out ever since you had to start facing things, do not worry. Good things are coming.